DJ Warren, the Mechanic
Spencer.
All these people that go through life with a big mouth that have never fought before, they have a big mouth for a reason, because they don't understand what it's like to get their ass whooped. There's a reason why I'm an animal today. It's because of...
You got a fight coming up. Do you still not know your opponent?
He's an African professional. I don't know anything about him, I'll be honest. I very specifically said, I don't want to know who he is. I don't care where he's from. I don't care what his record is. Get me a bum in that ring and I'll smash him to bits.
How did you meet the Tates? What are the benefits of knowing them? Do you get any hate for associating with them?
Absolutely. The world was getting poisoned. It took one brave guy to stand up and go, fuck this. I landed in the war room and my life changed.
Thoughts on dating multiple women? Yes.
Ooh. I've never actually said this to anyone as well. This is controversial, but it's all steps forward from there, baby.
Thank you, mate.
That was the best podcast I've ever had.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Wi-Fi Money. Today, we are joined by a very special guest, Warren Spencer.
Yes, brother. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, bro.
Thank you for coming on. Unfortunately, fortunately for you guys at home, it's just me today. Sam isn't here, so you guys get to hear me asking the right questions. No offense, Sam. So, Warren, I've known you for... almost 6 months now.
Yeah. Oh, wow, it's gone quick.
It has. What are we talking, December?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And I've seen you go through multiple different things in those 6 months. And honestly, it's led me with a lot of questions. You're very mysterious, right? Online, nobody really knows what you do. You're very good at what you do in terms of the boxing scene. And I'm here in Dubai to see your fight on the 5th of April. So I want to today learn more about you, and so the viewers at home can also get to know more about who Mr. Spencer is.
Sure. Well, firstly, that was quite an intro, bro. I think when they clapped action, it was like a switch just flipped over in your head, and that was perfect. So, mate, amazing work, and yeah, I'm super happy to kind of like dive deep today and go into some business, into some of the boxing stuff as well, personal life, and yeah, I hope we can provide some value today.
Perfect. Interesting. So, look, like I said, I know a lot about you from what I've seen online, from what we've spoken about in various conversations, but one thing I'd really like to know about you is your origin story, because you have the name The Mechanic. I mean, clearly you're not a mechanic.
Was.
You are the mechanic, but you're not fixing cars on the daily. So I want to know more about you, how this came around, and just your journey, right? So viewers at home, if you're listening and you're maybe at the start of your journey, maybe you can find some things to relate to with Warren here. So tell me, where was little Warren when he was a kid growing up? What was he like?
Okay, I'll bring you back to the beginning then, really. So the Mechanic as a name, as cheesy as it sounds, it came from me actually being a mechanic and working as a mechanic when I was young. My father was a motorbike mechanic. He was a car mechanic. He was just the man that I looked up to very, very much. And I really aspired to be like him. He was strong. He could fight. He could do everything that a man's supposed to do. So I followed in his footsteps naturally. And it all started in the garage at home. I was probably about 9 years old. My father was a working class man. He used to work for a bank and obviously worked for a place called Securicor, which is like a money collection business. And my mum just worked as a nurse. So by no means did we have massive amounts of money. And there came a time and a place as a young man that wanted everything that I saw a motorbike one day. Isle of Man is huge, which is where I'm from, by the way.
That's on the west coast, isn't it?
The Isle of Man is it's in between England and Ireland. It's like a small island in the middle of the Irish Sea. And if anyone knows anything about the Isle of Man, it's motorbikes. There's a road race over there called the TT race, which is a highly dangerous race on public roads where people die almost every single year. And Dad brought me to watch these races when I was a kid. And as soon as I saw these bikes going past, I wanted a motorbike. So what did he do? Couldn't afford to buy a new one. But when he was doing his daily duties, he was delivering some money off somewhere, and he drove past a bike. And I haven't told this story before, surprisingly. And that bike was in a field at a farm, and there was grass growing through this bike. And being an ex-motorbike mechanic, he saw himself an opportunity Went and approached this kid on the farm. I said, look, you've got a farm and a bike and a farm and a field with grass growing through it. Surely it's junk to you. How much do you want for it? And I think it was like 10 quid. Like
Nice.
a tenner back then still. It was a reasonable amount of money, but a tenner's a tenner, right? So the kid was like, yeah, okay, sounds great, get out of the way. So dad picked up these bikes. There was like 2 of them in the end. One was a frame, one had an engine in it. None of them were working. They were like rusted to hell. It looked like junk. And he brought them home into the garage. When he brought them into the garage as a kid, I looked at them and thought, wow, there's no way in hell that's ever going to start again, because it just looked like a pile of junk, literally.
Yeah.
And I would say 2 months passed, and dad would work every night in the garage. So I would come home from school. He'd be in the garage after work, working long hours, then going to work in the day, coming home from work, working on this bike. And I was this kid that was passing him the spanners, making him cups of tea. I was in awe watching him build this bike up piece by piece until the day finally came 6 weeks later or 8 weeks later. And I walked into the garage and he said, son, okay, today's the day we're going to start with the bike. And I just thought, ain't happening. It looked pretty. It was painted. It was a masterpiece. It was beautiful.
Do you have any pictures of this bike, by the way?
Do you know what? I don't, unfortunately, now.
No.
But it was called a Putsch. That was the name. That was the brand of the bike, and it was a small kid's bike. It wasn't like a huge thing by any means. But he kicked it 3 times. Obviously, there's no electric start on this thing. He kicked it over 3 times. The first time, second time, I thought, ain't going. Third time, it went with a boom, fired up, filled the garage full of smoke, and I actually ran out of the garage crying because I never heard a bike before like that, and I thought maybe something had happened, like it's gonna blow up, hurt my dad. You know what I mean? I ran out of the garage
smoke
crying
as well.
Yeah, the smoke, it was crazy. But ever since that day, and if you just imagine a really timid kid being dragged back into the garage with this bike just idling, like just idling away. And he's like, son, it's okay, sit on it, So I sat on it, like nervous, like shaking, and I felt the power between my legs, and I thought, I love this. I just love it. I don't know why, but I fucking love this, And that was the start of the mechanic journey. And that was the very, very beginning, falling in love with something. And ever since then, as I was growing up, dad had multiple projects in the garage, cars, minis, more bikes, things like that. And I just helped him out all the way. And it wasn't until I actually got a bit older in life, when I became 16, 17, I could drive, learn how to drive a car, started tinkering with my cars. I turned 17 and I applied for a job as a mechanic. My dad helped me fill out an application form for a mechanic and interviewed for the job, explained my passion, got the job, obviously, because, they just seen this kid.
You were a mechanic.
Yeah. This kid they just seen that, I was passionate about it. And I trained for 4 years as a mechanic in the Isle of Man, and it was a job working on like diesel vehicles. So it was like plant fitting, it was buses, trucks, generators, vans, all diesel vehicles. I was lucky enough to have an apprenticeship where there was a vast range of vehicles, because it was all for the government, But as time goes on, and you work for money and you work for your passion, the classic thing happens where it sucks the magic out of it. And I came to a point in life where I was getting up in the morning, putting my shitty overalls on, jumping in the car, driving to work sad, listening to motivational music in the morning to even hype myself up to be in there. And, a long story short, we left the Isle of Man on bad terms because something particular happened at the end of that mechanicing journey, and I arrived in Chester, and started working as a mechanic there.
Was that with your parents?
No, sorry, yeah. So I left my parents back home. I still visit frequently. I should definitely visit more, but yeah, that's where the journey started, bro.
So it's interesting. I was just gonna say, when you lost your passion, you kind of went from fixing and building a bike from scratch to then just kind of repairing generators. And it sucks the energy out of you, doesn't it? Especially doing it years and years. One thing I really like about that story is the way that the passion for you, at least from my perspective, came from not only like sitting on the bike and feeling it, but it was every step of that journey. If you probably agree that the sitting on the bike was probably the least important part, right? It was the catalyst, but it was the least important part. It was like seeing something being completely ruined, built up slowly and slowly and slowly by your dad as well, who's putting that time and effort in just for you, just for your enjoyment. I think that's something that's truly, truly, truly special.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that story. I'm sure you really, really cherish that.
Yeah, thank you, bro. It's beautiful.
I have a great question going on to your living situation as a kid, teenager growing up on the Isle of Man. So I don't really know how big it is, but I can imagine it's fairly small. I'm thinking Jersey.
About between 80 and 90,000 people live there,
So what was that like? Because that's obviously very different to somebody who's grown up in Manchester or London, being in that kind of close-knit, everybody knows each other community.
Yeah. I say this to everybody. The Isle of Man, by no stretch, I have nothing bad to say about the Isle of Man as a whole. I think it's a very peaceful place. If you want to go and retire there when you're old, get a house in the hills and live a relatively chilled life and get in that kind of energy of like the locals, you go into the local shop, the local pub, everyone. Yeah. That's also a nice life. But for me, it's not a nice life if you're a go-getter, because your potential is limited in the Isle of Man. That's just a fact. Anyone that breaks away from the Isle of Man and makes any kind of success, the Isle of Man are like, whoa, did you see that person that left and then they're this? There was one girl actually. I don't know her personally, but her name, I think from memory, is Samantha Barks. I think it's Samantha Barks. She is an actor or an actress. Sorry, it's an actress. And she left the Isle of Man to go and pursue a career in acting. And it was like, it started on the theatre. I think it was like the big stage. And then she progressed into the film with Hugh Jackman called The Greatest Showman. Now she was in that. It was a musical, and they did this thing, and it was huge in the Isle of Man, And if she's watching this, by the way, you're amazing, you're fantastic. She's a super talented girl. Again, never met her, don't know her, probably doesn't know who I am, but she was one of the people that broke away. And I've never actually said this to anyone as well, which is interesting about this. That makes you fantastic at what you do, by the way. And she actually inspired me a little bit. When I was a kid, I thought, who's this girl? She just broke away. It is possible. You can break away from the Isle of Man and become something. And then ever since then, I lived my life, and that was kind of stuck in the back of my head for a little bit.
You've seen it happen.
Yeah, and when you have something in the back of your head, some people leave it there. I left it there for a few years, but they don't act on it. I only acted on it because of adversity. Something bad happened. Do you know what I mean? Which made me act on it. But that was the starting point. But the Isle of Man as a whole, again, is a fantastic place, especially when it's sunny, but everywhere is, right? But moving away from there, the only reason why I did that was to go and get something in this life and earn something, which was worth having. But growing up as a whole, very, very lucky. I had a fantastic mother, a fantastic father, both amazing role models. No disrespect to English children. I wasn't brought up on beans and toast or chips and nuggets or chips and like that. I had like ramen dishes, chicken, vegetables, Filipino style food. It was, there's a reason why I'm an animal today. It's because of mother. Do you know what I mean?
The diet you had.
The diet, the genetic buildup. It's like, how do I describe it? When you have like a Wagyu steak. Yeah. They have a very particular diet throughout their life for it to be a Wagyu steak. But there's a reason why it's expensive.
Are you calling yourself a Wagyu?
That's it. Yes. Prime cut. Yeah. Prime cut Wagyu steak. A5 motherfucker. Sitting right here in this potty right now.
I can agree with that. Do you know what? When I think back to being a child, my mum always used to cook as well. And sometimes I used to think, well, my friend is having potato smiley faces. Why can't I have those? Yeah. And now I look at it and I'm like,
and he looks like a fucking mushroom, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I'm like, he
looks like a mushroom. And look at you, you're like grass-fed physique.
Now I'm like, I want mum's cooking again. I want that. I'm paying like £40 for that on Deliveroo nowadays.
You can't beat mum's home cooking, can you?
Yeah, I really agree with that, and I think that's something that's very important for people to look at is their diet, what they're eating, what they're putting into their body. It's something that I completely neglected until about 4 months ago. Yeah, and then. Well, I completely neglect it. My mum looked after me for a couple of years. But in between that time, I did neglect it a lot. And, I was trying to do the whole dirty bulking thing. Yeah. It ruined me.
It's a myth, isn't it?
It was really bad. Yeah. It was really, really bad. I did bulk, but it was dirty. It was not good.
You bulked on the back and sides, yeah?
Yeah.
Not in the right places.
No. On the face as well. If you look back at some of the old podcasts, I was getting there. Someone actually commented on a podcast saying Jack's got fat. fat.
Who's that guy?
No, someone said Jack looks fat, and I went, that's it. I'm done. That was the day. It was like August last year. I went, I'm done.
Jack looks like he ate Jack.
Yeah, fasting every day now.
Yeah.
Where's Jack gone? He ate Jack.
Fuck's that guy?
But I want to go back to kind of the reason why you left the Isle of Man. Because I can relate to this as well. I think we've touched upon this in other podcasts before with other people, but I always say that people have what they call a fuck this moment.
Yeah.
And it seems like you had a fuck this moment, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Do you think that if you didn't have that fuck you moment, you would have left the Isle of Man?
Absolutely not. I think my life could have been considerably different if things didn't happen. I'm going to say not to me, for me. If things didn't happen for me, I wouldn't be where I am today. And that is a fact, because when bad things happen to people, I don't want to try and repeat this or rephrase this because I'm not sure exactly how it goes, but there's an old Chinese saying with
Go on, let's butcher it.
Let's butcher it. It's on a farm. They're on a farm, and he's like a working class. He has a working class son relationship with his dad or grandfather, and he goes out to work. He's working. He slips and falls and breaks his back. Gets shipped home in some way, and then the father says to him, "Oh no, it's the son that says to him, is this bad?" The father says, "Maybe." And then he goes off and, I don't know, he recovers, goes and gets a job. He gets fired from his job, comes home. He says, "Oh, is this a bad thing?" His father says, "Maybe." And the story kind of continues on where there's this the son's in this perpetual state of trying to do something, failing, coming back home. The father says, "Maybe." And in the end, the moral of the story is that when something bad happens to you, or good, you don't actually know until it unfolds, until time goes on.
You'll never know till the end of your days.
Yeah, and that was an incredibly butchered version of that story. So I'm sorry to anyone that knows how to tell that. But it's the same thing that happened with me and life. Is bad things happen to you, and then or for you, and then it turns out it could be 5 years later, 10 years later, that thing that happened actually got you to where you are now.
Agreed. And I think it's very unique that some people don't like to take those bad things as good.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been through bad things as well. Without those bad things, I would not be here today. So were they really bad?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you wake up, you have a bad day, you end up doing something, and then you meet somebody, and then you have a great relationship with them, or something.
Yeah.
Every opportunity as it comes. But I like that mindset.
Do you know what I said this the other day? I was talking to someone last week before about this, and there's a quote which I absolutely love, and it's losing feels worse than winning feels good. Losing feels worse than winning feels good, and there is genuinely so much truth to that, because when you lose something or when you fail with something, that pain that you feel inside, it doesn't even compare to the amount of joy, happiness or joy that you feel when you win, because a loss stays with you. And it's the same in boxing, the same in life. Failures stay with you until you win. But then you win, you still think about the failures in the background. They're still there to haunt you. Do you know what I mean? They haunt you, they humble you, and they remind you that you wouldn't be here without them. And that's why it's so powerful and it's so important to have them there. And it's funny that you brought that up, because it genuinely is the key to success in life, isn't it?
Embracing the failures
Embracing
as well.
them,
A lot of people tend to either run or try and forget about their failures.
Yes.
I mean, I did that for a number of years as well, and it didn't work out, because they always come back.
Yeah. And you run away from them, they're waiting for you on the finish line, aren't they?
Yeah. And unless you just face them, accept that they happened, and try and find the lessons, you never really change, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
But on that note, you mentioned the boxing, which we haven't touched upon yet. When did that come into your life? You said your father used to box a lot as well, or he was a good fighter.
Yeah, my father was actually in karate, and bless him, when it came to the time when I wanted to learn how to fight, he wasn't really, I don't want to say as mobile, as functional, but he wasn't like, we're talking like 50s, like mid 50s,
Yeah.
And he was still in shape and still, still active, but he had something. Well, he got something, or something developed, an illness called toluene poisoning. Now that comes from spray painting cars. Very interesting thing to happen, because one day he just woke up, all of a sudden he started getting dizzy. He couldn't go to work. He couldn't stand up. He was just dizzy all the time. You know when you're like drunk and you get room spin?
Yeah.
And it's horrific.
Yeah.
But fortunately, you go to bed and wake up and it's gone. Well, with him, it was just there all the time. And you can imagine how horrible that must be. So classic, went to the doctors. They gave him a fuckload of pills. He's just taking these random pills. It would stop the dizziness, but the side effects were he was drowsy and things like that. So that affected his performance as a father. And this is why I'll say that he was stronger than most fathers, because not only was he putting up with that, but he was also teaching me how to be a man at the same time, and bless him, he's still around today and kicking. He's still strong, and he's the fucking man, he's so strong. And I learned a lot from him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry to go off on a tangent there.
No. That was interesting.
I keep eyeballing that Mirinda,
We're gonna get to the Miranda.
I'm eyeballing it over there.
Right after you tell me about how you got into the boxing. So you started with karate.
Yeah, that's it. So he went into he got me into karate in the garage. He was a black belt. And he used to whoop ass. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was Shotokan karate, a very particular style of Shotokan. And
I used to do that as well.
Did you?
Brown belt.
Brown belt.
Yeah.
That's incredible, bro.
I stopped 2 years. I stopped when I was 12. You needed to be 14 to be like a black belt. I was like, I'm not going to do it for an extra 2 years just to get my black.
You should pick that up. A black belt, or brown belt that's a flex. That is a flex, bro.
I think I've still got the belt somewhere. I'll show you.
Days. I mean, you have to wear it on night out. Do you know what I mean? Let everyone know what's up.
Around the head.
I'll see you with the brown belt and go, I ain't messing with this guy. But
sorry, go on.
But yeah, he got me into that. I was in the garage and he was showing me how to throw my first punches, turning over the fist, and finding balance and stuff like that. And then he put me into a boxing gym. He put me into judo, and he just taught me how to fight. Do you know what I mean? How to defend myself, because I don't know what happened now. I went to school, I got bullied, and I came home beat up one day, and he was like, well, this ain't gonna happen again. But I'm glad that did you take the punch, or what happened? Did you cry? Or like, and I was like, well, no, I didn't cry, but I got hit and didn't know what to do. Do you know what I mean? I was very shocked. Now, I'm not by any means, again, it wasn't like a black kid in a white kid school, but I was tanned in a school that was majority white people. So the obvious jokes were, chocolate face, Chinese boy. Kids are fucking brutal, aren't they? You know what I mean? Another saying, I love it, like parents take, there's a saying that goes, parents take your kids to school to learn from other kids. It's so true, because I didn't, I used to listen to my friends. When I used to get bullied at school, I used to listen to them about advice, what to do. And it wasn't until I got home and spoke to my dad that he showed me, the way of fighting. So I went back to school, long story short, whooped this kid's
punching
ass.
people.
Just whooping ass in school, beating people up. And I always knew that I was a good fighter because I never lost any fights. But I was fighting idiots as well at the same time. So bullies, because you know what bullies are like. They just have all bark, no bite. But when I got into the boxing gym, I don't want to say unfortunately, because again, fortunately, leaving the sport at the time that I did got me to where I am today. Do you know what I mean? So when I went into the sport as a young kid, I was like 11, 12, maybe 13, just learning about running. I was training with kids older than me, much stronger than me. And it was a rough gym as well. It was like a real Rocky style gym where there was just like shit on the floor, smashed mirrors, classic.
Dusty.
Bottle of piss in the corner of the room.
Stinks of sweat.
The ugliest guy in the room drinks it. Do you know what I mean? Like it was a brutal place to be. Toilet doesn't flush. You can imagine the worst of the worst, the dirtiest fucking gym ever. Tap on, streams out like yellowness. And I really learned how to fight there. When I was put in this den with just
how
kids.
old were you?
Like 13, 14. Yeah. But they almost made a mockery of me. So the older lads there would do this thing where we'd stand in the middle of the ring and 6, 7 people around us would surround you, and you'd have to turn to one person and throw a shot as hard as you could, and they have to defend it. Turn to the next person, throw a shot. And whether I threw a jab or a backhand, maybe 3 of the 6 kids there put their hands behind their back and let me hit them wherever I wanted. Whether it was on the nose, on the chest, anywhere, they let me hit them where I wanted to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as a kid, I was just like, oh man, if I'm hitting this person clean from the front.
I feel like a fly on a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly the way it felt. Flying a horse. Great way to put it. And something clicked in my head then. I was like, I need to get stronger. I need to get stronger. I don't care how. I don't care that I'm too young. I don't care that they're older than me. I need to get stronger. And the boxing, any fighting is a beautiful sport for that reason, because that is what it instills into you. Do you know what I mean? It makes you realize that you're a pussy, you know? And all these people that go through life with a big mouth that have never fought before, they have a big mouth for a reason, because they don't understand what it's like to get their ass whooped until one day. Could you imagine they square up to the wrong person that's trained in something? It wouldn't take a lot, and it's a dark day comes for everyone, you know, and it's for a reason.
Interesting story. Shall we? Do you know what? The Miranda's calling my name as well.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of a backstory with Miranda.
Okay.
And I think you do too.
I think you should go first then, because I think you tell me your story, then you crack your Miranda.
Okay.
I'll tell you mine.
Oh, so I get to drink mine first?
Yes.
Or are we cheersing at the same time?
We can cheers, but you can drink first.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro.
So Miranda, for me, I'm really excited because I'm going back there very soon. But I Bucharest in December of last year.
Okay.
And I love Fanta. I really like Fanta. And I had a good friend of mine. I was on FaceTime. She's from Romania.
Yeah.
And I was in Bucharest. I was in the shop and I was like, what should I get? What drink should I get? And she went, get a Miranda. Got a Miranda, sipped it, went on, what's it called? Forgot what the app's called.
Dating app?
No. On it's like Deliveroo.
Yeah.
Glovo. I
Glovo,
hopped on Glovo and I ordered like a 6-pack of them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just drank like 2 a day. And it was the best drink ever.
Nice.
And
nice.
It's good to see it here.
Yeah, I didn't know it. So is it from Romania?
I have no idea.
Is that where it's from?
I've seen it now. Now I tried it in Romania. I've seen it in like various, like, you know, like the little corner shops in the UK. They will have all the random drinks.
Yeah.
They have them there. They have them in Dubai.
It says by Dubai refreshment.
I don't know.
So maybe.
Might be from Dubai.
Yeah. PO Box 420 Dubai, UAE, under appointment from, yeah.
Cheers.
So maybe. Yeah, I love this stuff. And we're not even sponsored by these. We're just shouting these out.
We should be.
Because they're amazing. But
if I had to give it like a detailed explanation, it's like Fanta, but slightly less fizzy and more orangey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Smoother Fanta.
Yeah. Fanta is like Wish, isn't it? it's like Mirinda. It's like Mirinda on Wish.
Yeah.
For sure. But this is crack in a can.
Go on,
addictive.
Tell me your story.
100. That's it. It's just crack in a can to me. 170 calories of goodness.
Is it really?
Yeah. I'm gonna read that from the side. 175 calories.
Yeah.
I'll take it every day.
Nice. Cheers.
All that sugar. Cheers, brother.
Smooth.
That is delicious. That is delicious.
So whilst we're talking about delicious, that was a really bad transition, but I'm going to stick to it anyway.
Okay.
You got a fight coming up.
Yeah.
Are you feeling deliciously prepared for that fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I feel like I'm delicious as well.
Yeah.
It's the best I've ever looked.
Tasty.
Yeah. Tasty.
Yeah.
I feel like my teeth are a bit whiter. I've got a bit more of a tan.
Yeah.
My jawline's a bit more chiseled, a little bit more beautiful this time. Don't know why.
10 extra push-ups.
Yeah, I was on a beach this morning, Kite Beach, went for the run. Some guy was like, what do you do? I was like, I'm a boxer. He's like, you don't look like a boxer. I was like, that's because I'm a good boxer. Yeah? All the ugly boxers are shit, you know what I mean? For a reason, because they get mashed up.
They got cauliflower ears.
Whatever.
You're just
noses,
eating it.
bent over. I just
Yeah.
eat them shots, yeah?
Yeah. So I've never seen you fight in person. I've seen you sparring in person.
Ah, okay.
But I saw one of your fights online. I think was it November?
Yeah, Nick versus Nick Lamau, Qatar Supercard, Misfits.
Yeah. I saw it online. Great fight.
Thank you,
I
bro.
thought I got to be here for this one in person. So tell me about it. Do you still not know your opponent?
No, I don't. He's I think he's African. He's an African professional.
Okay.
I don't know anything about him, I'll be honest. And I very specifically said this time to the organisers, like, I don't want to know who he is. I don't care where he's from. I don't care what his record is. Just
let me at him.
Get me a bum in that ring and I'll smash him to bits. So they could be setting me up. They could be sticking me in there with someone 20-0. I don't know.
Interesting.
But, you know, Fabian, who's a good friend of mine, is his promotion. I accepted to go on his promotion. I would never normally do a side quest like this, but I accepted to go on there because I believe in him. He spent his life savings on making this show a reality and making it a thing, and I love it. You know, when I see someone with big balls, it inspires me, and I want to help them.
Yeah.
And I want to connect with them, which is why we've connected, bro, because you're so successful in what you do as well, and I admire you. And I think
Likewise, appreciate it.
No, it's my pleasure, bro. And that energy is so important to be around. And I think people like that as well appreciate it when you give them your time, because they understand the value of time. When you just meet a dickhead that has no idea of time, spends his day doing fuck all, doesn't want to do anything great in his life. Don't get me wrong, there are people like that are still very helpful and nice, but there are also people like that who are deluded.
Everything has a value. Everything, everyone, every piece of time, everything has a value. And a lot of people don't see that, do they?
No, exactly. And I see that in Fabian, and I think it's going to be a great show. And I just can't wait to put on a performance as well.
I've only met Fabian once, which was at your sparring camp the other day. He's got great energy.
Yeah,
the guy's he's just always, every time I looked at him, he's smiling.
Yeah.
He's like having a laugh, but he's very serious at the same time.
Yeah.
Good guy by the looks of it. So I'm really excited for that fight as well.
Yeah. He just won an award for the best public speaking as well in the war room as well, in Andrew Tate's war room, because English isn't his first language, and he did deliver a talk to some of the boys in the war room, and it was fantastic. You know, It was really good. He did a great job, and kudos to Fabian, man. He's the boy. But so again, thank you as well. Thank you for coming to the fight, and I can't wait to have you there.
I'm so excited. I've been here like 2 weeks waiting. Yeah. if you can speed it up, that'd be great. Maybe do it on the first.
Yeah. Well, I won't keep him in there for long. I guarantee that.
Okay, great. You just mentioned as well the war room.
Yes.
Now, I actually asked, I'm going to pull out my phone, a good friend of mine who I mentioned I was going on a podcast with you, and he said, oh my God, I got some questions. Can I send them in? And one of them actually lines up perfectly to what you've just mentioned to me here.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, it's very clear from your Instagram that you know the Tates.
Yeah.
And his question is, how did you meet the Tates? What are the benefits of knowing them? And do you get any hate for associating with them?
Yeah, I mean, they're all great questions. So I first met Andrew and Tristan at their house in Bucharest, in Romania.
Just walking past.
Yeah. No, I know a few people that have tried to do that, but you won't get very far. They have crazy amounts of security, and for a good reason. He literally travels like the president. But yeah, I met them at their house, and it all came about from I went to a mastermind. So this is how things go full circle. When you put yourself out there and you meet people and you subject yourself to something, that's how you can end up in a place where you never thought you'd be, i.e. Andrew Tate's living room. Yeah. And I was in Marbella, it was a couple of years ago now, at Mike Thurston's mastermind in Marbella. And I spoke about this in the last talk. And it was just a mastermind weekend where you just met 10 other lads that are trying to make it in life, want to understand social media more, understand the idea of building a brand, understand more elements of training. And Mike Thurston, bless him, he's a very knowledgeable guy. He does fantastic. Very good. He does great work, bro. Yeah. Apart from having like I
wouldn't have a whoop without him.
Yeah. So there you go. He's someone that he gives value, and you believe in him. And a lot of people to aspire to take elements of Mike and implement to their own life. But so I went there, met Mike as a fanboy, enjoyed it thoroughly. I learned a lot, and I also met one particular guy. His name's Luke Barnett, and he's also a G. Luke Barnett is an ex-UFC fighter. He's famous he fought Sean Strickland. Yep. He does a lot of commentary now for the MMA community. He is a senior member of the War Room as well. He's an all-round fantastic human being, and I met him in Marbella because he did some work with Mike on the mastermind, because he's helped for logistics in the War Room, so he helped out Mike with the mastermind. I sat down with Luke at a restaurant. We were watching some like cabaret. It was like this show going on in Marbella. I forgot what the name of the place was now, but it was fantastic. And we had some food, and I think he was like texting on WhatsApp. Mm-hmm. And I think it was Andrew, because it just said like Tate on there or something like that. And I was like, oh, Andrew Tate. Is that like the Andrew Tate? And he was like, yeah, man, he's a friend. I'm in business with him. You know, it's
Did you know about the war room at this time?
No, not really. No.
Is this before Tate kind of blew up, or was it like around that time?
He was like on the up at this point. You know, I knew who he was obviously because I'd seen some of his stuff before, and I thought there's something about this guy that's just polarizing, and he's just so interesting, and I can't put my finger on it yet, but I'll figure it out. You know. Nevertheless, I thought he was good for humanity and for the world as a whole. But I'm talking to Luke. He mentions the war room, mentions Andrew, and we get talking about the war room. I don't know how we got into it. And he explained that the war room terms, it's not about money. Like, money is one of the things that obviously you think about, but brotherhood, respect of others, and looking after your brothers and taking care of your brothers, being there for them when they need your help, and you know, just supporting each other. And again, Fabian in the war room, I love supporting him. I love supporting the boys as well. And it was all about that. Money is like the third thing. So once you've nailed brotherhood, respect, then you can talk about business and money and all those sorts of things. And he explained it to me, and he was like, I think you'd be great in there. I think, you know, the kind of person that you are, I think you'd really benefit from being in the war room. I think you'd enjoy it. And regardless of how much of a sales pitch this was, when he explained it to me, I was like, I'm in. It sounds great. Let's do it. So he invited me in. I landed in the war room, and my life changed. It's as simple as that. My life completely fucking changed. And the reason for that is because, to anyone out there that doesn't believe in spending money to go on a mastermind, I don't care how much it is. I think
it's a scam. They just want your money.
Yeah, I heard this. There was some absolute dildo online the other day. It was like, well, in business, if you want to go and pay for a mastermind and pay all these scammers, that's on you. Because in business, you have to go out there and learn it yourself and go through real struggles like me. Because I started from the bottom, and I'm like,
you're wasting years.
This just isn't how you do things, bro. If you want to leverage time, then what's the obvious thing to do? If you're from a small town of nowhere, you're a fucking nobody, and you need to sort your shit out because you're a loser, you're taking the bus every day, you need to put yourself around these people. I don't care if you go to the bank and take out a loan for fucking £10,000 and spunk it on a mastermind and gain nothing but contacts, because those contacts are valuable. Now, you need to learn how to speak to people. You need to learn how to talk to people, how to network people. Of course you do. Because once you're around these people, it doesn't end there. You don't just become a success. You need to network them. So that, I will admit, is a skill, which if you don't have, that's £10,000 very well wasted. But I saw this as an opportunity, you know? And when I put myself around Mike and these guys and Luke, which led me into the war room and more people and, you know, more, not just people, but amazing people that have done amazing things in life.
What's the saying? Business is just people in rooms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm meeting guys that have their own telecom business, construction business. They're in the satellite fucking industry. And I'm like, where are these guys on the street? They're fucking nowhere. They're hustling somewhere where you ain't. And you need to find a way to get there. And I hate it when people slander these courses, these masterminds, and people, because look, it's a scam if you make it a scam. Yeah. If you walk away and take nothing from it, then it's a scam. You know?
I mean, people do still need to do their research, don't they, on the people selling it? But
of course, but if it's someone reputable, Mike Thurston, Andrew Tate,
even Tate, what's it, $49?
Yeah,
like, what's $49? If you buy it, you miss out. You know, you buy it, you go, do you know what? I didn't learn anything from this. It's $49.
Whose fault is that? It's a gym membership.
So it's a Nando's.
Yeah, it's a Nando's gym membership. You go to Nando's, pay for your food, you don't eat it. It's on you. You go to the gym, you pay for the gym, you don't train. It's on you, isn't it?
Yeah. If you don't know how to use the machines in the gym.
You just fucking learn when you're in there. Yeah. But it's a classic case of lead an elephant to the water, you can't make it drink it, right? So I develop a relationship with Luke Barnett. He tells me about the war room. There's episodes of luck that happen in life. This is why I don't gamble. I don't play roulette.
Did you go to more events then from the war room following that?
Bro, this is this, right? So the most fantastic thing about the war room is the in real life events. They call them IRLs, right?
Can we get an affiliate link in the description of the video?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But IRL events are the most powerful part about the War Room. And look, I'll be honest, I haven't been to any as much recently because I've been so locked in with this fight thing, which isn't an excuse. And the boys will rip the back at me for that. But it's important because Luke, I was speaking to him on a friendly basis. He invited me to his house for a podcast, or his apartment in Manchester for a podcast at the time. I got to know him really well. And he said to me, look, the boys, Andrew and Tristan, are doing an event at their house called the Brotherhood Feast. Now, they just got out of jail at this point. So they were on lockdown. They couldn't leave the house.
They wanted all the boys.
Yeah, they wanted to be around people again and actually interact with people, because famously, you'll see a clip somewhere of Andrew saying, you have to dumb yourself down in jail to survive. If you're a deep thinker and you're intelligent, jail is the worst place you can be because you're so overstimulated all the time. Look at how amazing his mind is.
Yeah.
Both Andrew and Tristan have fantastic minds. Imagine when you can't put that to use, you know? It's like locking a lion in a cage forever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think about that a lot because I think, even just being on the plane, for example, for 9 hours, sat in your seat, in economy, you can't move.
Yeah.
You don't have any Wi-Fi, and you're like, you still got a phone. You can get up, you can go to the toilet, you can get a Coca-Cola, and even then you're like, this is horrible. I want 9 hours of this. This is horrible. And they did 3 months.
Yeah, it was 90 days or something crazy.
Yeah.
But you're a performer, right? You're one of those guys that performs. Do you know what I mean? So if you take a performer out of that environment and you put them in a room with nothing,
to do nothing,
with a book,
yeah,
what the hell are you gonna do with a book? Do you know what I mean? You read it, fine, but what you do with that
paper
information?
Airplanes, origami.
Yeah. You'd build a city from paper. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of guy that you are. You'd construct everything. You'd lick it and stick it together. And do you know what I mean? It's something to stimulate the mind and keep the momentum moving forward. So the boys reached a point where they just dumbed themselves down in jail. They got out and they were like, right, we need people around us that we can trust. We need people around us that respect us. So why not start with the War Room? It makes sense. So they posted in the chat. Andrew speaks quite often in the chat, and we're always communicating and with him and stuff. And he posted this thing. He was like, right, brothers, I like to give back. I have a charity called Tate Pledge where we help war-torn countries. We give them food, water. We help with eye surgery. We help with any kind of health assistance. We, deliver clean water. All these kind of things going on with Tate Pledge, which he said nothing about. He does not push that really because he does it out of the goodness of his heart. And he's like, right, boys, all make a donation to Tate Pledge. Right, the top 50 donors I'll invite to my house. Done. And that was it.
Yeah.
So,
those are pretty big donations, I can imagine. 2,000
people in the War Room. The top guy donated 50 grand, which is amazing if you think about it. If I had the capability to donate 50 grand, I would have done it as well, So I, at the time, what was I doing numbers wise? I was doing my fair share of numbers. I wasn't
5
by no means successful. We were we were in 5 figures. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I put a relatively generous donation in. Fortunately, I was one of the guys who got selected. Now, bear in mind that there's people that have been in the War Room for 2 years and hadn't met Andrew. I was in the War Room for 2 weeks and I met Andrew. Do you know what I mean?
It's because you committed to it. You put the money in.
Yeah. But
you weren't afraid to put the money in and lose it.
No. But here's the thing. Here's the thing as well, where it gets even more interesting. I arrive at Andrew's house in Romania. We have passports on the door. We have security checking us out, making sure that we're good. And we were in this room, and all of a sudden, I'm surrounded by 50 other men that are all independently amazing. But I was speaking to one guy, and they asked us to do a speech. So we stood up in front of everybody.
One by one.
One by one in Tate's living room and behind the big famous TV screen. And we had to speak about what we were going to do with our lives, how we were going to do it, and why we were going to succeed,
I like that.
And it was just one of these things. And this one kid stood up and he was American. He's like, I ain't going to lie to y'all. I'm here on a credit card. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, but I'm going to make it. I'm going to start my own business. with the contacts in the war room. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make that money back because I want to be around the right people. I did what I had to do, and now I'm here. Do you know what I mean? And he fed this story out, and he was so raw, so confident, but so honest with everything. Yeah. And that shit inspired me. Because if people like that can get a credit card and just think, fuck it.
And tell the truth about it as well. In
front of Andrew, like, he looked at him and he was like, whoa, you know? He respected him. Yeah. But anyone would have thought,
he's made a donation to charity on his credit card.
If I tell Andrew that, he's going to think I'm going to lose it. Complete opposite.
Yeah.
You've got big balls and you got respect, you know? And I love that kind of energy.
And people will go out of their way to help you.
Yes,
when you do things like that.
Because the boys are going to be like, well, let's sort this out. You have 50 business animals around you.
Yeah, let's pay off that credit card, buddy.
yeah. Let's pay it off. This is how we're going to pay it off. I ain't giving you money, but I'm going to show you how to fucking make it. And that's way more valuable.
I need somebody to do this. And this is a great position. Bang.
Yeah, and the kid probably would have been like, if someone walked up to him and, listen, kid, how much was your credit card? 10 grand? Cool. There's 10 G's. Or I'll give you my knowledge. Which one are you going to take? The knowledge every day. Because that 10 G's, once it's gone. You're back at ground zero. But the knowledge is there from someone, that's powerful and someone that's amazing. And
I often... sorry.
No, let's go for it. It's cool.
I often think about the war room as... I don't know if I'm actually allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it. My dad and granddad are very big Freemasons.
Yeah.
Or at least...
Similar thing.
God bless, my granddad was. He was so into it. The charity, he's always doing it. He was going every week, twice a week. He used to sit in the chair and do the speeches and...
Smoke cigars.
Smoke cigars. Well, he stopped for a while because he had a lung problem. But he, I remember hearing all these stories, and my dad used to tell me stories as well. And my uncle, I remember my uncle once. I remember hearing a story, and he was like, "Look, this guy, it's like a family friend who was also in the Freemasons. He doesn't have much money, but he's always there. He's always at the lodge. He's always attending. He's always like giving himself to the community there."
Yeah.
And I remember hearing from my uncle, like, granddad's given him like $5,000 because he needed this or he needed that. And I remember asking my granddad, I think I was like 13, I was like, "You gave somebody $5,000?" And he was like, "It's what it is." He was like, "Money comes and goes, but good friends don't."
Yeah.
And he needs it. So, yeah. And I remember saying like, "Well, he's going to pay you back, isn't he?" And he went, "Probably not."
Yeah.
But he didn't mind.
G energy, that is.
Yeah, and that changed me a lot. That really sat in my brain. And I think if I lived in England and I stayed in the same place, which I obviously don't, I'd probably be going to lodge. I'd probably be in that same community because it's just such a tight-knit circle.
Yeah.
Brotherhood. Yeah. Everybody's got each other's backs.
Yeah.
You go in there, you say, "I've got a problem with this." And everybody, if they can, will help you.
Yeah.
And that's what I love.
It's a beautiful thing, Brotherhood. It really
and as soon as I found out about the war room, I thought it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But online.
Exactly. I think you'd be fantastic there. I genuinely do. It's a place which a certain kind of person you have to be a certain kind of person to benefit from it. You have to be patient. You have to understand things take time. You have to understand you have to work things out. You get a lot again from the in real life meetings and stuff like that. And all round. Again, just briefly touching back when we were at Andrew's house, when he stood up and delivered his speech and he was giving us advice on life and how to handle things and how to have a correct mindset towards everything in general, because he can really hit every single topic out loud and
just deliver,
elaborate on that. You pick any topic, this guy can speak about it, and that's why it's so inspiring, because his knowledge is just it's so broad, but he can be so specific at the same time. It's it's fantastic. And when you walk away from an experience like that, it does something in your mind. It changes something permanently. You don't ever forget it. And I think when you can be that kind of character in life, you can be so polarizing that when you talk, when you explain something to someone or you teach, it's like it's going to change the world. There's going to be films made about these two brothers.
100%.
Like,
I think there's already one in production.
It wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. And I hope the BBC don't produce it.
They're going to be
bullshit if they do.
I think about this often. Like in our generation, and you know, in the 2000s, there's so many famous people. Like thousands and tens and hundreds of thousands of famous people. Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Whereas you look like 200 years ago, there wasn't that many.
Yeah.
Like if you were a common person, just a commoner, farmer, whatever, you probably know the king, maybe the queen and the princes and princesses, and then maybe some of the descendants and the dukes. But that's it. You don't know about that famous singer or the actor or the Kid Laroi. Do you know what I mean? Justin Bieber. You don't know who these people are. They don't exist.
I like that.
And then when you look at nowadays, it's like there's so many famous people, and people think like, I'll give you an example, like Selena Gomez. Do you reckon in 300 years people are going to go, oh, do you remember Selena Gomez? Maybe. Maybe. Like,
I don't know.
Like maybe my great nan, she used to listen to Selena Gomez. Maybe, right?
Yeah.
But then when you look at like the Tates, that's a name that's going to be remembered in a couple of 100 years. It's going to be compared to like Genghis Khan. Well, whoa. But you know what I mean? The name itself, the recognition of the name will stick around for centuries.
Do you know what? I love the way you explain that. I really do. It's so accurate, because these guys have done something which it's almost turned back time a little bit. The world was getting poisoned. Like, it was getting infected, wasn't it? Dramatically, at a very, very fast pace. It took one brave guy to stand up and go, fuck this. I'm not having this LGBT fucking bullshit. They just, you know, it was getting out of control. Like, you couldn't go on a date without someone saying they identify as a fucking lampshade at one point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is happening?
So it was interesting because
you know?
I was, I mean, how old are you?
32.
32.
No, yeah, I was going to say 31, but
so
32.
I'm 22. So we got 10.
What?
Yeah, we got 10 years.
You're 22?
Yes.
What the fuck?
So,
bro, are you joking me?
No, I'm serious. So I was like 14, 15
I thought
when this was going on.
Did you say 32 last time? You having a laugh? You having me on?
No, I'm 22. 23 this year.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
What is it with these young guys, man?
I feel like I'm 40 some days. I wake up like my back's stiff, my neck.
Mate, if I was 23, me and you wouldn't be friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, you'd be like, "Who is this idiot, bro?" Seriously, man. That's crazy. This is getting the world is just getting so competitive now. When you have guys like you, fucking animals, that are 23.
See, you think that about me? I'll give a little shout out to a guy called Liam, who followed me on Instagram maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And we've kept in touch ever since. Just out of pure respect for what he's doing and who he is. He was 15. I think he was 14 when he first messaged me, and he was like trying to do like video editing for me. Some Australian guy.
I like that.
And he was like 14, and I was like, wow. Like, you're actually trying. He like got me on a call, and I was like, I'll get on a call. Got on a call, spoke to him. I was like, do you know what? Like, you know, like you said about the sales pitch for the War Room.
Yeah.
Sometimes somebody sells you something and you know it's a sales pitch.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I even want this? But the person's so good that you say yes.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of those. It was like, I don't need a video editor right now. I'm not making content.
Yeah.
But fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then he was like messaging me like, I need this content. I'm not doing it. But it was just like the fact that he was trying so hard, and he was giving it his all. He's now just turned 16, and I'll show you him after.
Wow.
He's just turned 16, and he's making like 10K a month.
That's incredible.
Like profit. And he showed me this.
That is incredible.
He's not lying.
But there you go.
And he's
14, now 16.
Yeah. And mate, he sits there and he's spitting more facts than me. Like, he's on YouTube talking about SOPs and P&Ls.
We should get him on.
Absolutely. But I was just like, this is incredible. So then, like, when you turn around to me and say, you're 22, that's crazy. I'm like, well, not really. There's fucking, nowadays, this, mate, have you seen the trend, the rise? I mean, I think this is due to Tate, to be fair. It's quite funny. My business partner, Sam, from the podcast, sent me a video the other day, and he went, this is going to be your child. And it was like some 8-year-old kid, and he was like, this is my morning routine. And he wakes up, he does his push-ups, he does his skipping, and then he's like, I did 20 minutes of work before school. I got home from school, I did my video editing. He's like 10 years old.
Yeah. That's cool, though. I like the way things are going like that, because it gives kids structure.
We're gonna industrialize again.
Yeah, industrialized.
You know?
Yeah,
people
yeah,
are trying to make things again.
That's cool though. We want strong men. We need strong men, especially for a good community. And although a lot of people slander the education system right now, they think the education system is outdated, and I very much do agree. So go to university.com to get that updated lifestyle.
What's the link? University.com.
You go university.com.
They got the link
and get the new age of.
They got university.com.
That's
crazy.
Oh, there's a lot of people are pissed about that as well.
That's hilarious. I love that.
So yeah, university.com, modern teachings, not this old school BS. But again, it's slandered a lot, is the teaching system, but I also think there's a lot of great things about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was at school, I was taught to show up.
Yep.
You know, be punctual, be on time. I was taught to read and write. What else? Physics, understand movement, understand why things are the way they are, understand which right and wrong groups to be a part of, identifying people, communicating with people on a mass level, multiple people all the time.
Dealing with people,
exactly, yes.
Yeah.
And also, you know,
rights and wrongs, abiding by rules, evading rules,
exactly,
everything.
Good and evil.
Yeah.
Understanding the difference between the two and knowing what is right or wrong. This is what school is amazing for. And I don't believe an online school can quite give you the same experience.
Mm-hmm.
So school's not all bad. I think the next thing for university.com is to make an in real life school, you know, and show them how it's really done and scale up that way. But that's what I love about it. And I think a lot of kids today, they're controlled obviously by the masses. They're controlled by schools. But when the teaching system started bringing all these stupid LGBT cartoons in and stuff, that's when I was like, they're teaching people that, like, there was a point where if you said Andrew Tate's name in a school, you'd get expelled. Like, you know, that, what does that say? It stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know? So you got me on a tangent there. I don't know how the hell we ended up there, but yeah.
I think I'm trying to think back. What was the original question? Yeah, that was it. Does associating with the Tates bring you any hate?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So absolutely. Yeah, it does. People.
What's the funniest message you've ever got?
People were in my DMs, and there was this one particular guy who wrote me a message out. He was like, "I can't wait for you to get thrown in jail like the rest of the idiots out there that support this vile, horrible human being. And I can't wait to message you when I have the last laugh, when they get put in jail, they get locked away forever, and the key gets thrown away, and they're charged as guilty."
Did he have blue hair?
And yeah, I think he had like pink hair, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's always the fucking blue hair guy.
That was a random guess, but I got
always
it.
the blue haired guy. Yeah. But he sent me a stack of messages, and I thought, I never really react to these kind of messages, but I thought, you know what? I'll just leave you there. I'll leave you there, you little dickhead. I'll leave you in there. And
leave it unseen.
Yeah, unseen. And when my day comes, then I'm going to drop a bomb on you, bro. And I'm going to prove to you exactly what's up. And he kind of continued on. So he was having this argument with himself, my DMs.
So funny.
And then the
committing so much time to hating on it.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he does it to everyone else as well, like Luke? And
maybe I don't know. I've not had the conversation with the boy because I genuinely didn't let it take up that much of my time, you know.
Yeah.
But I thought I'll keep you there. I'll keep you in my back pocket. And it came to the point where the Tates obviously got free. It was recently, a few weeks ago. We found out that they were, going to get released. They were allowed to travel again. Like, everyone was looking up. We all knew it was going to happen. Like, everyone that supports him and is around him just knows, like,
just waiting.
You know when you meet an innocent man. You know when you meet a truly good man, and you know when you feel that energy. Do you know what I mean? I felt it, and yeah, when this all happened and it hit the news, I just went into this guy and just put "got you, bitch," full stop. Waited for him until he'd seen it, blocked him. So it was like months and months and months and months.
He saw it straight away as well, didn't he?
It was like, got you, bitch. Blocked him, and I sent that little news article of them Andrew and Tristan being free to go and travel.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was a good day. It's funny.
Yeah, it's just an interesting debate with the Tates, isn't it? Because it's either you love them or hate them, and it's rare that you find people that say, I'm in the middle. It's very rare.
It's a great point as well, though, because the currency isn't being loved or hated, isn't it? Right? It is genuinely attention in this day. And if you have if 100% of your people or 100% of people that know you like you, and the other 50% that are meant to hate you but don't know who you are, that's a worse position to be in, I guess. If you need all the love and all the hate, because it's a further audience, controversy strikes questions, it brings attention.
Like one I'll speak about is this podcast isn't out yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be out like this week, is Jack Doherty, who we had on. And do you know who he is?
Yeah, vaguely. I don't.
Everyone hates him.
Yeah.
So I posted him, that we had him on the podcast. Everybody on my followers was like, oh, you got that dickhead, give him a slap for me. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
So you don't even know him.
Yeah.
Why do you want to slap him? Because he posted a video and you didn't like it.
Yeah.
But he's got everyone's attention. And he's very smart. He's very smart. I'll give him a shout out for that.
Yeah.
He's very smart at what he does, and he pretends that he's not.
Yeah.
For the camera, he pretends he's not. He'll never admit it, I don't think.
That's cool.
But he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's very aware.
That's great. And it's one of those things, isn't it, as well, where you, like, once you come up with something, you have to understand that being loved or hated, it doesn't really matter. You have to be resilient to that, don't you? You know, and not let it affect you, which it would hurt a lot of people. You know, I
don't have the balls for it, or the stomach even.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'll say my dad and sister recently went on Four in a Bed. Do you know what that is?
No, what is that?
So in the UK, I think it's ITV or Channel 4, but it's like a show where it's hotel owners, so they have a small boutique hotel. Shout out to them. But essentially, you go and test other people's hotels, and then you all rate each other, and you say how much you would pay for the room, etc. And it's beef, right? They do it. I know for a fact. Like, I'm a professional. I watched that show. I figured out exactly what they do. They pick a shit hotel, 2 like decent ones, and then a really, really nice one.
Yeah.
And that's just the way they do the show.
Yeah.
But my dad ended up getting loads of hate. They made him out to be the villain.
What?
My dad's honest.
Yeah.
My dad is honest to the point. If he doesn't like you, he'll tell you. If he doesn't like that, he'll tell you.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting loads of hate. And
I like that though. That's cool.
He received a letter. Because everyone knows the hotel. They were getting reviews.
Wow.
Like 1-star reviews, horrible people, blah, blah, blah. It's quite funny. I'll send you the clips.
Yeah, for sure.
But essentially, he received a letter from somebody just in the UK, wrote out a fucking letter about this big, 2-sided, and literally went out, got a stamp, put the stamp on the letter, hand wrote the address, posted it. It's like people are going to extreme lengths after watching a show to send him a letter. And it was just like, he found it hilarious.
Yeah, he's triggered people.
Yeah.
So the time out of their day to type that letter up or whatever, or write it out.
Yeah.
That's insane. That is insane.
And it's just funny how, because on the show as well, obviously I watched it as his son and I got his perspective. There were just silly things that like I watched and I was like, no, that's absolutely fair. Like he was just being honest there. Like for example, they didn't sleep well in one of the hotel rooms. They gave it 2 out of 10 for sleep. Yeah, which is fair. They didn't sleep. And then everyone got all funny with them about it. And he was like, I'm just being honest. You know? And like we said about the honesty, people don't like honesty, do they? Yeah. It's rare to find somebody who will accept honesty.
Which is weird, really, isn't it? Because you'd think that people would want to know where they stand.
People like to live that fake life.
Fake life.
They like to live the lie. My friend sent in some more questions for you. We've touched on one, and I think we can just quickly reel off some answers for some of these.
Okay, let's do it.
So, thoughts on dating multiple women?
Dating multiple women?
Yes.
Ooh, big topic.
It is.
I think you need one good woman. For sure, because I had this conversation with literally, it must have been today. I think it was today or yesterday. I see this all of the time, and I genuinely feel sorry for women who are drop dead gorgeous, 12 out of 10s, these supermodel chicks, because there's a very, very high chance that they are a trophy.
Yeah.
And they always end up just being, I don't know, having a bad experience with a man, then they turn into something else that they're not meant to be.
Do you think that's why you see, like, sometimes you go, cool, why is she with him?
Yeah.
Is that why?
Because either she's gone, right, I'm sick of all these guys, I'm just going to get a fat dude who's a loser because he's not going to cause me problems.
He's going to love me
and treat me right. Yeah. And then I see these chicks that hit the 6 out of 10 to the 8 out of 10 category, and they're just like super women.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're just, they don't care about all these like lavish lifestyle, these crazy things that happen, private jets. Yeah. They just want a good man.
Happy to be here.
Exactly. They want a good man that they want to have a baby with. They want to give birth, go through extreme bodily changes, hit peak female performance for a man. Be a good housewife, take care of the house, do all the things for him that helps him perform and elevates him in his career. She supports everything that he does. Those kinds of women between the 6 and 10 are the perfect ones.
Yeah.
Because they...
So what we're saying is...
Yeah. So what I'm saying
you
is...
shouldn't settle for a 10.
No, absolutely. And if you do settle for a 10, make sure you know
luck.
what smoke comes with it. Yeah, because there's a high chance she's on Instagram, 1 million followers. She's getting unlimited attention from men that are probably doing better than you. And at some point, she's going to fucking leave. And that's it, because there's too many temptations for that kind of woman. But the problem is that men don't understand that, okay? So my woman, for example, she has literally given birth 5 months ago. You know, I've seen her go through things that I would never, ever, ever want to see a woman go through if they don't have to. You know, it's just like severe pain. She literally said to me as she was giving birth, I feel like I'm dying, you know, and she isn't that dramatic as a person as a whole, you know, and women like that, I think, are really hard to find. And if you do find them too late, chances are they've already been scarred and they've already been with too many guys. So you have to get a woman to get out of their masculine as well, because a woman that's gone through things realizes that she has to support herself because there's no other guy out there that can do it. So the broad answer to your question is you need to have one good woman. You know, whatever you want to do outside of that is up to you. But I prefer to have the one good woman that I know is going to be there for me no matter what. And she's going to support me, and she's invested in my career because she knows that my career supports her life and my family's life, you know?
Interesting. Do you know what? I'm kind of going through the trials and tribulations of finding that girl at the moment.
Yeah.
So what tips could you give me to look for in a girl? Things to look for, things to avoid, you know, the red flags, the green flags. Yeah. What would you recommend?
The wifey indicators, we'll call them.
Yeah.
Okay, so a good wifey indicator. The first thing, she needs to be happy. That's the obvious thing. Because if a woman isn't happy for whatever reason, you'll find her in this place where she's just nagging all the time and she's not quite there.
So happy on her own.
Happy, perhaps on her own, but happy with you and what you do. And the only way that you can achieve that is by being successful. Mm-hmm. So your woman is happy based on your success.
Your status.
Because that's the currency. Mm-hmm. It's natural. Why is a woman going to be upset or sad about her relationship if you're not performing as a man? So you have to perform. That translates to her and makes your woman happy. So I'd look for a woman that's happy with what you do, is excited about what you do, supports what you do. And these are the kind of things that you can explain on the first date. Yeah. So I know you like to be a little bit mysterious on the first date, but that can backfire, you know?
Yeah, because they don't truly...
Because they're like, this guy's too mysterious for me, so I'm not sure. I might date him again or I might not. Good for you, you're a good-looking bastard. So they're definitely going to come back for round 2. But guys are a little bit further down the food chain.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a risky thing. So I think date 1.
So would you say date 1 set the frame, set the expectation
and
of
don't lie.
What you're looking for?
Yes. Do not fucking lie either. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you're the kid that's working at the supermarket, okay, and you're a weekly, monthly wage, you're a limited means, tell her. But also tell her, look, this isn't going to be for long. I'm going to be fantastic. Here's my plans. Here's what I want to do with my life.
Goals,
and
my ambitions.
Here's how I'm going to execute it, because women like men who are driven. So whatever you do, tell her with fucking confidence and do not fucking lie to her. Because if you lie to her, what's going to happen? It's all going to come crashing down, because
and
that
everything
G
you've built.
And this is why, you know, this can backfire as well. All these guys online that are saying how amazing they are and kids want to be like, they just start regurgitating it and they don't actually live up to it, you know? So live up to it and don't lie about your situation. That's probably the first things I cover, because once she knows who you are and what your intentions are, you know, for life and as a relationship as a whole, tell her if you want kids in the future, tell her, I want a family. I want to start a business. I want to have memories forever. I want us to be a unit, or I want to be the guy that goes out and performs. Just tell her exactly what it is you want to do, and then move on to the next thing, you know?
Nice. I like that. Yeah.
And the next thing is, okay, this is controversial, but looks, right? You have to be attracted to that woman. If you're not attracted to her, things ain't going to last. You need to want to rip her clothes off with your teeth. That's the second thing.
Yeah.
All right? Because that's part of a successful relationship.
I don't think that's controversial.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And again, if that's, you know, there's someone for everybody, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna elaborate on that. I nearly said something that would put you in a lot of trouble.
I was thinking the same thing.
But
It's
okay.
fine. It's fine. I think everyone got it.
I said it without saying it. All right, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fiona and Shrek, right? Yeah.
That's the next thing, and then ask her about social media. Okay. Say, can you do me a favor? Can I see your social media? Can you add me on social media? Why? I just want to see it. Take a look at it. If she's got 100k followers, her ass and tits out,
all lingerie,
all lingerie. Guess fucking what? It ain't gonna be a good relationship. But then you open it, yeah. She got 50 followers. She's private.
Yeah.
She's got there's no profile picture.
Yeah.
Green flag.
Yeah.
Green flag, because she doesn't care. If you want to be that guy, opposites attract, yeah? If you want to be the guy that performs, has the status, has everything going for you online, you need an opposite to support you, because guess what? They're going to be jealous. They're going to be so jealous. You're going to collide. You're going to clash. Sometimes you see online relationships.
I had that.
Sometimes you see it. Sometimes you see two people that are like an influencer couple, you know?
They hate it.
But it gets competitive. Things are tricky. You can't build a family on that, in my opinion, right now. It might work for someone in the future, but then guess what? Your family then becomes a projection online. Everyone knows about your family. Everyone knows who your kids' fucking names are. They know which school they go to. And as a man that wants to protect their family, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Why should you put your children, your family on a social platform which is going to be sent out to the masses?
Family debates become a public debate, and
exactly.
never ends well, does
what's
it?
What's everybody else going to think about this, babe, if we do that? If you post that picture, what's everybody else going to think? But guess what? They ain't in the relationship. You are. So that's the next thing I'd look for. All right. And anything else on top of that, we call them stocking fillers. If she's a good cook, if she's a good cleaner, if she gives shit blowjobs or good blowjobs, it doesn't matter what, because some chicks are all better at other things than others, right? Some of them have things where they shine, some things where they don't. Women generally are more organized than men, but you can find a good woman outside of that. It's all upside, yeah? So once you've set the bar, once you've made it very clear who you are and what your intentions are, you've made it very clear as to what her intentions are for a relationship, you've established those 2 points, then move on to everything else. But don't worry about it, bro. If she can't really cook, sweet. You're a G. So pay for cooking lessons.
Yeah.
You know? Go and have a day out with her. Pay for the cleaner. Pay for some cooking lessons. Be a man about it. Don't sit there and, my friend's got this chick and she's well better at cooking than you. What's that going to do? It's going to do absolutely fucking nothing for your relationship, is it?
Upset her a bit.
Nurture her and she'll nurture you. And I think that's where you're going to, you're going to have this beautiful relationship which is going to blossom. Okay?
That was great advice. I feel
You're welcome.
Thank you, mate. I feel a lot more confident. What I'm gonna do is, after my next date, I'm going to call you and I'm going to say, Warren,
I'm in the toilets.
I'm in the trenches.
She's waiting for me. She tried paying the bill. What do I do? Don't you fucking dare let her pay that bill.
She's got a deeper voice than me. She's pulled out the Amex. It's gold. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. But here's the thing, man. If you come across a chick that tries to pay the bill as well, it's not also a bad thing, because they can just be being polite. You know, a lot of women, in the back of her head, even though she says, "Oh, do you want to go halves on the bill?" It's a test.
Yeah.
Don't. It's a fucking test. Because if you say, "Yeah, let's go splits," that's the last time you're seeing her. That's the last time you're seeing her. Yeah. So pay the bill. But also, if a woman's insisting on paying the bill as well, that also translates to a bit of trust.
Yeah.
Because a woman, if they're in
it's nice, isn't it? It's respectful.
It's nice until a woman gets in a masculine frame, until you get into that energy, okay, and she feels safe and secure, and she can be released from the masculinity and drop into the femininity, right? That's your job to do that to her, to do that for her, is to show her that that she can trust you, and all this boss babe chick stuff, she hasn't got to do it because you've got her. You want her to be a woman and not have to worry about keeping a roof over the head of the family and doing all these things, being a man and a woman, you know? It ain't a vibe. Bring your woman out of a masculine into a feminine and do it through trust. If she tries to pay the bill, yeah, it's unattractive, but it's not the end of the day. There's a reason why she's like that. She's probably been with a stray cat before you. You know, she's probably been with a guy, a frugal little guy that just uses his fucking coupons to pay for things and tries to split the bill and
scanning his club card for that 20p.
Yeah. The guy that nicks all the money out of the fucking Christmas cards and doesn't tell you, that little dickhead. Yeah. So yeah,
amazing.
Understand she's probably gone through some things. Understand that you have to convince her and show her that she's going to be safe with you, and then it's all steps forward from there, baby. You know, that's it.
Living la vida loca.
Living la vida loca. Exactly.
Does that mean the right thing? I think that means crazy life, no?
I don't know. It is a crazy life, though. I agree with Ricky Martin.
Good life, crazy life.
Tune as well. Yeah,
indeed. I think we need to wrap it up now.
What a way to end.
I think, time is gone. But this has been a really, really good podcast. I've really enjoyed this. Look, Warren, tell everybody where they can find you, what to do, where to go. You've already shouted out university in the war room. Where can we find you?
Do you know what, bro? I want to say thank you to you. That was one of the best, if not the best podcast I've ever had in my life.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So thank you.
Likewise.
Thank you for that. And secondly, you can find me anywhere on social media at The Mechanic. I ain't a hard guy to find.
Go check out his YouTube as well. He's been posting a lot of vlogs recently. They're very good. The Japan vlog, I think that's definitely worth watching. You can see Warren in action with his cars. But yeah, thank you very much, Warren.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, save it on Spotify, click the follow button as well, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you.